Today we are joined by Ye from OpTic Gaming, Bazika from Loud, Leandro from Crew Esports, and Seif from Guild Esports. Members of the media had the option to pre-submit questions or ask them live. We will begin with the pre-submitted questions first. The first question is Bazika from Loud. Different from before, Loud will have to play the group stage, and there's the possibility to face OpTic. With less pressure, do you guys yearn for the revenge?
First, thank you very much for your question. I don't think much as a revenge, but I think it's going to be a really hard game if we face them. But at the moment, our focus is just on Crew. That's our first match of the group stage. So all our attention and our focus is on this match. And after that, we think at the next open.
The next question is for Ye. How different are the emotions going into this tournament compared to the other international events in the past? And is there added pressure of defending the Masters title?
I wouldn't say there's any added pressure or different emotions. I think our mentality always going into whether it be any tournament is just try to do the best you can and try to focus on each match at a time. And if the results come, then they come. But I always try to take like more of a growth mindset rather than a results oriented one.
Leandro, facing NIP costs Crew more time for this Masters. How crucial is it to have more time to prepare and face for the best in the world?
No, lógicamente no tuvimos tanta preparación como hubiésemos querido, pero la realidad también es que fuimos el último equipo que terminó de practicar, de jugar, de competir, y en ese sentido creo que es algo bueno para nosotros, porque tuvimos bastante ruedo de torneo hasta la fecha.
Logically, we didn't really have so much time in order to prepare ourselves for this tournament, but in reality, at the same time, we were the last team that was playing and that was competing, so that's also kind of an advantage because we have had like a lot of training in an event, in a competitive event.
The next question is for Bazika. Loud will face off Crew in the group stage. This will be the first time against them. Knowing that no Brazilian team has ever beat them before, what do you expect from this game?
We do respect Crew a lot. We know that they are very good and they have proven themselves internationally already. So we do think that's going to be a very tough match for us, but we are very prepared. We have been talking about this match. We have been practicing to this game for a long time since we got to know who you're going to face against. And I think it's going to be a good show for everyone, especially for the whole South America scene. That's going to be like a really classic match between Brazil and Argentina. And I think it's going to be a huge match for the fans.
Yay. In the same group as Loud, your team is in the same group as Loud, the team that you guys faced 2 times before. If you eventually meet in the group stage, how different will it be from before?
I don't know if it'll be really different. Obviously, Loud is an incredible Brazilian team, probably the best Brazilian team that has ever been produced. They're I can't say enough good things about them. I don't know if the match will be much different in the sense of it's going to be a really hard game and a really close one. But, you know, as as Pincata, I think, said before, we're also just focused on our current match, which is Guild at the time being. I never like to, I guess, count the chickens before they hatch, if that makes sense.
Leandro, which is the most important part of preparing for this Masters?
Yo creo que nos fortaleció mucho el trabajo que hicimos como grupo. Estamos preparados para la Master y la realidad es que la gente, no sé por qué, no tiene muchas expectativas en nosotros, pero creo que el trabajo de equipo que estuvimos haciendo, que solamente nosotros sabemos, nos va a ayudar bastante.
The thing that we have worked most upon is like teamwork, and we are actually really prepared for this event. I don't know why teams don't really have much hopes for us today, but we'll show what our best teamwork that we only know that we've been working on is gonna show up against many of these teams.
Yay. Sorry, 1 second. Which is the form of OpTic from these Masters? Knowing that actually. I'm going to skip this question. Zika, unlike Iceland, you will play in the group stage at the Danish Masters. Were there any challenges to be overcome in the short training time?
Yes. This is a very different scenario that we went to the first Masters in Reykjavik, because in Reykjavik we were already in playoffs, so we had like 1 more week to practice, 1 more week to get prepared. But at the same time, we were still a very young team, and we were still learning a lot of stuff together as a team, as a group. And right now we have to play the group stage, but we have already had a good preparation during the second split in Brazil. So even if we have less time here to practice in Europe, we still managed to do a good work in Brazil, and we are already prepared for the group stage as well. And we actually think that's can be a good idea, a good thing for us to actually have more matches during the tournament, and it can make us grow as a team during the event.
Thank you. We will now switch to taking questions from the media watching online. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature to ask your question. We will begin with Ricardo Vaz. Please unmute your mic and ask the question.
Boa tarde, na realidade não é uma pergunta. Fala Bazuca, que é o Vaz do Valorant Zone. Cara, a gente sabe que o apoio da torcida brasileira, principalmente da torcida da Loud, é enorme. Então gostaria que você mandasse um recado para os torcedores da Loud e dos torcedores brasileiros e falar um pouco do que você espera do campeonato.
Can I answer in Portuguese?
Yes.
Eu acho que a maior mensagem que eu posso passar para os torcedores é agradecer o carinho, agradecer todo o apoio, porque desde o começo do time, na verdade, a gente estava com o nome de Pancada e Amigos ainda, a gente já vinha recebendo muito carinho, muito torcida da galera, dos fãs da Loud, então a gente fica muito feliz, a gente gosta muito dessa energia que a torcida passa pra gente, então eu acho que a minha mensagem é agradecer esse carinho e pedir para que continuem, porque isso ajuda muito no nosso dia a dia. E o que eu espero para esse campeonato, cara, o que espero, campeonato muito difícil. Eu acho que não existe jogo fácil, eu acho que independente do adversário, independente de quem a gente vai jogando contra, a gente vai estar se preparando da mesma forma, a gente vai estar se preparando da melhor forma possível. A gente quer muito trazer um título internacional para o Brasil esse ano, mas a gente sabe que é tudo fruto do nosso trabalho. Então a gente está trabalhando realmente muito duro para tentar trazer o melhor resultado possível para o Brasil.
Obrigado, Bazuca. Boa sorte no campeonato e amassa aí. Valeu.
The next question will come from Declan from Deserto.
Hi, this is also for Bizika. I was just wondering if your team has had to deal with any burnout or mental fatigue this year, and if so, how have you guys dealt with that?
It was a very tight schedule for us, yes, but I don't think we have reached like the burnout state. We have a really good psychologist work with us in Loud, and he have helped us a lot during the first split and the second split, and now during the Masters. So I do think we are very well prepared mentally for the tournament as well. So I do think that if we did keep going doing this for like 1 year or 2 years in a row, we might get like overburn. But right now, I think we are in a good state. Loud has did a good work with us, and we are very, very prepared. And that can be hard, but that's good for us right now.
The next question will come from Ben Goldhar from Juked.tv.
This question's for everybody. Have there been any major surprises you've encountered in scrims leading up to Masters? And that question is from Captain Beans from the Juked app.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yeah. Have there been any, what are the biggest surprises you've encountered in scrims, whether that is related to the meta or teams that are kind of overperforming expectations or anything like that?
I can talk as a Brazilian team that we came to Europe and we had like just 2 days of practice. And all I can say is that every team here looks very well prepared and they actually knows what they're doing. And it's very good for us to practice against those teams. Since in Brazil, there are a lot of teams that are not so professional right now because it's still a growing scene. We have like some teams that's playing the biggest tournament there, but the tier 2 and tier 3 scene in Brazil, it's not so huge. So even the teams that are not the VCT here in Europe, they actually do a good work and we have good practice. But about the meta, I think we have understood the meta while we were in Brazil. And I don't think we're gonna face any big surprise during this tournament. And that's very opposite from what happened in HFH, that we had like a very different meta going on and we had to learn a lot during the tournament.
I'd like to remind the media to please focus their question to one specific individual when you ask the question. The next question will come from Scott Robertson from Esports.
Thank you. This question is from Seif, or is for Seif, excuse me. Guild successfully reached Masters, but suffered two rather one-sided losses in the Challengers run to Fnatic and FPX. What was something that those losses made you realize you guys still needed to improve on before competing this tournament?
Well, being fully transparent, I think we had a very rough period going into those games as Colda and Leo just got very, very ill before the games, and people on the team could not even speak because their throats were pretty bad. So, I mean, we were just in a bad period of time to play them specifically, especially since the matchup is so hard. But I think in general is just a health precaution for us, I guess, to always take care of ourselves and try not to get sick before big games. So, yeah.
The next question will come from Adi Adian.
Hello, this question is for Seif. This is your first time competing in Masters, especially as a team that has been competing for so long. What teams have you been looking forward to competing against, and have your team taking it seriously or treating it as a normal match day?
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to play OpTic. Obviously they won the last Masters. They were insane. They did their work, and you know, if this tournament's about false gods and true gods and stuff, then I want to show who's a false god. So yeah, OpTic's gonna be awesome. But I mean, obviously we take things seriously all the time. It doesn't really matter who we play. I mean, every game's gonna be the same, I think. So yeah.
The next question will come from Wesley Pereira from the Clutch.
Capturando naciente. Ah, la puta campaña.
Please mute your mics.
Oh, I unmuted. Right. My question is from BZK in Portuguese, right? Salve, BZK, tudo certo, cara?
Tudo certo, cara.
A gente está ao vivo aqui diretamente do Brasil. Eu queria saber de você. Na Islândia, vocês levaram o Arthur, psicólogo, para poder trabalhar com vocês. E eu queria que você comentasse se ele também está com vocês de novo nessa caminhada em Copenhagen e destacasse a importância dele para a preparação da Loud, que está em busca desse título do Masters Copenhagen, e também a preparação para o Champions Istambul.
O Arthur foi muito importante no crescimento do nosso time. Eu acho que ele participou desde o comecinho com a gente e ajudou a introduzir a mentalidade que a gente tem hoje, o nosso profissionalismo, a nossa forma de trabalhar. Então ele foi muito importante durante todo o nosso trajeto, no primeiro split, no Master da Islândia, no segundo split também. Infelizmente ele não conseguiu viajar com a gente, ele não pôde vir aqui para a Dinamarca, mas ele está fazendo um trabalho remoto, então a gente ainda tem o alcance e a gente tem a possibilidade de conversar com ele, a gente conversa de vez em quando, e por mais que seja sendo um trabalho à distância, tem um trabalho muito bem feito, e a gente foi trabalhar de uma forma que a gente hoje não se sente mais tão dependente nesse sentido. Então essa liberdade de poder estar no Brasil trabalhando com a gente é tranquila, sabe? Eu acho que ele fez um trabalho muito bom, eu sou muito agradecido ao Arthur, ele realmente mudou a forma como o nosso time atua e sem dúvida ele teve muito impacto nos resultados que a gente teve. Então se você estiver assistindo, Arthur, salve, salve, valeu por tudo, obrigado, e eu acho que é isso.
Psychologist Arthur, and he made he's so important in the Loud team and the work that he did there. And so they asked how Loud is feeling about that he is not here. And BSK said, Arthur, it's very important to Loud team, and he made huge important work from them in the previous competitions like Master 1 and the last year too, but they made work that they don't need him like present. So here he is doing online work, so he didn't come here, but they start continue to have contact with him, so they are very confident that they can do they are very confident in this competition too.
Okay, the next question will come from Wesley Pereira. Wesley, please unmute your mic.
Right. I have another question from Bazooka. Vamos lá, cara. Eu tenho mais uma pergunta para você. Eu queria falar se a respeito da Split, a gente sabe que foi um mapa que vocês pouco jogaram nessa segunda etapa e a gente sabe que os times que estão aí na Islândia são extremamente fortes em ambos os lados. Eu queria que você comentasse como que foi a preparação do time aí mesmo na Islândia para vocês conseguirem ter um equilíbrio em relação ao lado de ataque e ter um pouco mais de melhoria no lado de defesa.
A gente teve poucos dias de treino aqui na Europa, né? A gente chegou, então a gente teve só 2 dias de treinos completos e um dia que foram alguns poucos mapas, mas a nossa ideia aqui era realmente pegar um pouco mais de ritmo de jogo, então a gente já veio com muita coisa pronta e algumas mudanças que a gente está fazendo nos mapas. A gente já tinha conversado no Brasil antes mesmo de vir para cá, então a gente realmente chegou aqui e colocou em prática, a gente tentou jogar o máximo possível, a gente praticamente dobrou os treinos que a gente tinha no Brasil, então a gente está jogando muito para pegar muito ritmo de jogo. E questão de lados, eu acho que é um pouco nosso trabalho. Eu trabalho muito com o side hack com relação ao lado TR, de ataque. No lado de defesa também a gente vem consertando algumas falhas nossas. E eu acho que a gente está preparado em todos os mapas. Você comentou sobre a Split, a gente jogou pouco, mas o nosso time é um time que a gente joga com 7 mapas, né? Então a gente não tem ban fixo e a gente está confiante em qualquer mapa que vier. A gente tem certeza que a gente pode performar bem.
Perfeito, cara. Muito obrigado. Thank you.
Well, the question that was made is about the split map, I guess that's the name, because Loud isn't very used to play with this map, and how they can prepare about the attack side and defense side. And Bazooka replied that well, they have not much time to practice here, but they focus in the timing of the game, and they are very prepared about all the maps they have. They don't have one map they are strong in all, and so they can play well in all these maps.
Thank you. The next question will be from Brandon from Run It Back.
This one's for Ye. I just kind of want to get some thoughts on a few comparisons here. You guys are back again after winning Masters last time. I just kind of want to know where you feel OpTic is compared to last time, and kind of how you feel about XSET, if you feel like they may be in the same boat that the Guard were, or if you feel like they might perform better than the Guard did in their first, international debut.
I mean, it's hard to say. I would say for us, I don't know if we feel particularly different from the last time. Obviously, I think we feel pretty confident, but as well, I mean, there's so many talented teams, players, and every single region, so it's going to be a hard tournament. Always, but I would say the main thing as well regarding XSET, obviously there's been some comparisons between them and the Guard and how they might do. It's hard to say honestly how they're going to perform, but I do know that they have some more experienced players than the Guard. So for example, they have Def, who has been to multiple different lands, and I think also as well yearn has been to multiple different lands. So the result might be a little bit different because they have more experienced players, but it remains to be seen.
Thank you. We'll take a question from George Geddes from Esports next.
Hello, my question is for Seif. Basically, I wanted to ask him, obviously, Guild have looked relatively good playing in EU, and obviously you qualified for this event. However, you did lose to FPX and Fnatic, both of which are also at this tournament. So how do you actually plan on beating these teams? Let's say you face them another time around.
That's a really good question, George.
Thank you very much.
In my head, I mean, I fully believe that there was a time that we could actually beat them if the circumstances were different. I do not think we faltered on anything specific that we need to improve on. I just think that that specific point in time for us as a team was not the best to show what we have against them. And yeah, that's just about it. I don't think there's much more we need to do. I think if we meet them again, I could call it here first. If we play against them at this tournament, then they're not winning.
Fighting words. Thank you.
The next question will come from Pratiti from Sportskita.
Yeah, hi. So my question is to Crew Esports. So the question being, Crew is the only team in this Masters who has attended all the VALORANT LAN tournaments so far, including the Champions and all the previous Masters. So just wanted to know, how does the team feel about their consistent representation at an international LAN, and also what can the fans expect different this time?
Bueno, la realidad es que los chicos están muy emocionados por haber jugado todos los torneos, pero bueno, este es uno nuevo y tenemos que encararlo como siempre, de la mejor manera y lo más focus posibles. Yo creo que estamos haciendo las cosas bien, nos preparamos bien y bueno, veremos mañana cómo nos va.
Well, in reality, we're all really excited to be here again, and we have been preparing the best way, and we're just gonna take on this tournament with our best side possible and with our best level. And obviously, we have been preparing a lot for this event, and we'll just see tomorrow how it goes and how everything we've been working on gives its own like comeback, like awards. Sorry.
All right, thank you for the answer.
Will come from Armando Montes.
Hi, hola, mi pregunta es para Lazo. Últimamente vienen como luchando contra corriente, bajo como las perspectivas del medio, ¿no? Vienen venciendo a NIP 3-0 después de caer en la final de la TAM y ahora entran otra vez al grupo de la muerte. Pareciera como que en Cruz es como una mística, ¿no? ¿Qué le tienes que decir o sea, en contra de todo esto, que los ponen quizás como los menos favoritos del grupo y que tienen que estar constantemente ir en contra y en contra y en contra de la opinión pública?
No, bueno, la realidad es que son cosas que pasan y no podemos hacer nada. Yo creo que es un muy buen grupo y lógicamente acá venimos a jugar y sea cual sea el rival, lo vamos a tratar de dar lo mejor, como siempre. No hay más que eso. Simplemente es eso.
The question was that lately Crew has been like going against the current, going against the wave, because they have always been treated like the underdogs, that they're again in the group of death on group stage. And what does he think about this, about being considered the underdog in all of these events? What Leazo said was that in reality, that's just how things go. And he believes that it's a really good group and he just comes here to play. Like, it doesn't matter who the opponent is and who they're facing against. They're gonna give it all their best and just try to win.
Gracias por la pregunta y éxito mañana.
Come from Mark Holovchenko.
My question will be for Seif. You personally had a very hard way in VALORANT, starting from Bonk and ending the international roster here in Guild. What do you personally feel here on LAN? Maybe some special emotions or extra motivation?
I mean, I'm obviously happy I finally made it somewhere. It's been stale playing from my chair at home, just watching everyone else have fun and get to shine and play against so many talented teams all across the world. And just having the honor of being here with these talented individuals is just it means a lot to me. Just it shows that the sport is more than just sitting at home and playing. It shows there's a beauty to it. So I'm excited.
The next question will come from Adi from VLR.GG.
Hello, this question will be for Crew. This is the first time that we see that 2 Latin American teams will be competing in Masters. How does it translate to the growth of LATAM so far? And what are your opinions of Levitan as a team, especially considering that you've recently lost to them in the Latin America Grand Finals? Thank you.
Gracias por la pregunta. A ver, yo creo que Levitan es un equipo que viene creciendo mucho. Si bien, sinceramente, creo que no jugamos lo mejor que pudimos ese día, los chicos son muy buenos y lo demostraron en ese partido. Lo personal, creo que es una derrota que nos sirvió a nosotros para crecer, y no solo como equipo, sino en general. Y con respecto a la región, sí, lógicamente están creciendo mucho y hay varios equipos que están empezando a demostrar lo que pueden dar. Pero es eso solamente. Creo que todos se están esforzando por dar lo mejor. Todos los equipos en todas las regiones. Me parece que es así para todos.
Thank you for your question. And I believe that Levitan as a team has really grown a lot. I also believe that we didn't really play our best game in the Latin finals, but they also played really well themselves. And I believe that this loss has really helped us to grow as a team and also as individuals. And regarding the region, we believe that, yeah, of course, it's growing a lot, and it's really shown that many teams have been demonstrating their own level and that they can do way better than they have in the past. And they're all giving their best. Like, everyone's just really pushing forward to try to better themselves every day. But I think that that's something that not only happens in Latin America, just every team in every region. They're all trying to give their best.
All right, thank you for that answer.
The next question will come from Francisco Carico.
Hi, my question is for you. How would you describe the play style of the other teams in your group, and what is the team you are looking forward to facing? Thank you.
They vary a little bit, but I would say Loud they have a good mixture of both aggressive and passive play style. They're pretty well-rounded in a sense. They do a lot of sometimes little fakes, and then sometimes they're very good at baiting out utility. In terms of Guild, I think they're also an example of a pretty well-rounded team. They do a lot of sometimes contact plays or even some traps I've seen, and they just have a good variety mix. And with Crew, I've noticed they tend to have a little bit more of an aggressive play style. They also are, I would say they have very strong individuals as well, with, like, for example, Kisnet. He is a very strong individual player that can also win them a lot of rounds. So I would describe him that way.
The next question is coming from Yinsu Collins. Seif, do you feel like teams might underestimate your team due to the inexperience of Guild on LAN? How much of an impact is how much of an impact has Coldamenta had to help your team with LAN preparation?
I don't feel like Colda has been the main person that has helped us, like, prepare for LAN. I guess all of us kind of have a certain experience from before. I mean, we played different games and we've been to our own little sets of LAN. Sure, this is the biggest LAN probably most of us have ever been in, but just in general, I think we know what the vibe is, if you understand me. And yeah, I mean, Colda sure has helped a lot. He is the boomer of the team, you could say. So he's the father. He makes us feel secure and all that. But in general, I think, you know, it hasn't been all up to him. It's about us and our past. So
the next question will come from Lissandro Alarcon.
My question is to Ye. And which is the form, or how do you feel and to see your team to these Masters, knowing that you come here as the second in NA and the last Masters champions? And how do you see also Wexet, knowing that they are their first international event?
Not sure if I answered this before, but I think in terms of how we're feeling right now, I think we're pretty confident. To be honest with you, we're a little happy to be here because we ran into a little snag with COVID and took, like, all our players really, like, pulling together and trying our absolute hardest in order to try and qualify, because we had guys on the verge of, like, passing out. So honestly, we're happy to be here, and we're happy to be, you know, finally recovered from COVID and, you know, back to practicing and working on their stuff. But yeah, we feel pretty good. And in terms of the XSET, it's hard to say, like, how the team is going to do, because it's for a lot of them, it's their first VALORANT LAN. I know a few of the teams or a few of the players have experience on different games and different lands, but it will be interesting to see maybe how some of the younger players, for example, I think Cryo and Zekin, this might be their first big international land, and see how they perform. But I think I have high hopes for them, so we'll see.
Thank you.
The next question will come from Wesley Pereira. Wesley, please unmute your mic.
Sorry, I don't have any more questions.
Okay. We'll take a question from Declan from Deserto.
Hi, this question is for Ye. I was just wondering, how do you feel, or if you have any opinions on Shroud coming into Valorant and joining Sentinels?
Yeah, so honestly, when we received the news, we kind of sat down, had a team discussion, and we kind of decided to just forfeit our place in this current Copenhagen and the future champions, because I think everyone at this point is just playing for second place. They're going to be an insane roster, and best of luck to everybody, right?
We'll take a question from Ben from Juked.
This question is for Ye. Coming into this LAN, what kind of impact do you think the crowd will have on you and your team, and what does it mean to you to play in front of an audience like this at a Masters? This question's from Hi, this is Flop from Juke.
Gotcha. Honestly, having a crowd is going to be a really crazy experience. I hope we manage to get that far to actually be able to play in front of one. In terms of like what I mean for us, I think it'll add like an extra element to the game. It's sometimes hard to, I played in a few crowds before, and it's sometimes hard when you get like the first kill or the second kill and the crowd gets louder and louder and louder. Sometimes hard to stop the overextend. So honestly, I'm just really looking forward to it, because I think it's the next step for Valorant. I also think it'll just add to the overall, like, not just the pressure, but for the viewers and just the whole Valorant experience. I think it's the step that's necessary. Keep going forward.
And the final question of this press conference will come from Scott Robertson from Esports.
Thank you. This question is for Seif. There's a handful of prominent chamber players at this event: Durka, Buzz, Cryocells, Forsaken, Nags, and of course the man next to you, Ye. Where do you place yourself against the other players in this chamber category, and how vital do you think chamber play will be to whoever ends up winning the event?
I would say I'm in the top 5, but listen, give me an argument. Okay, I have a really good argument. Listen, you don't have to be as flashy or get 3Ks or 4Ks or whatever you see online or whatever you think people do, or just have 30 frags. Your role in the team is essentially just given out to you, and you have a specific role, and if you fulfill that role to the best of your capabilities, then in my eyes you could be a top 5 player without people actually seeing it in number wise. I mean, I'd put myself in the top 5 at least, because I know what my job is doing. So yeah.
Thank you. This will conclude the first press conference of the day. Please stand by for the next press conference, which will begin shortly. Thanks, guys. We're clear.
All right. We got a couple questions in from the Juke community. I am looking at the questions we have from the post that Sean made, and we don't have a ton of questions. So if you have questions for this next run, please feel free to drop them in the Twitch chat here. It looks like we're gonna have should be Zest from DRX, correct? Wait, no. Dariali? I don't know how to pronounce that. I need to alright, actually I can pull this up. I'll show you guys who is in. Okay, so these are who you can ask questions to. If you have any questions for any of these folks, Artis, Zest, Dariali, and Cruz, make sure to ask here on the Twitch chat. I will record those questions, and I will do my best to ask your questions on air. Just Give them to me. Give them. This one's for DRX. If you get them in the next conference, DRX seemingly running out of gas after starting every land for your very powerful. Have they identified why this happens? If any changes have been made to preparations. Okay. I saw that you submitted the similar question on the app. It's a little bit poking, but I can figure out some way to ask this properly. I just don't want to be attacking them. But yeah, I think, what are you doing to stay consistent this Masters? In the past, you've gone in with high expectations, but haven't necessarily been able to convert. How are you? Yeah, what are you doing to not run out of gas, I guess? Okay, I can ask that. Ayo, what? Did you just beatbox? Yes, sir. I used to play the drums when I was a kid, and then I stopped playing the drums because having a drum kit in your house is a lot. And so I beatbox now. Compulsively, without thinking. Could still use a couple more questions in case we get a chance. Everybody, we've got oh, this one, not this one. Correct one. We've got FPX DRX, Northeption, and XERXIA. Questions for these folks, please. Submit now. Thank you. Actually, I guess I can just say it's the teams from Group B. That's this next press conference, Group B.
Welcome back to the pre-Masters Copenhagen press conference. We'll continue with questions for Artis from FPX, Zest from DRX, BlackWizz from Northeption, and Cruz from XERXIA. We will begin with pre-submitted questions first. Artis, your team encountered a major setback after not being allowed to travel to Iceland. How does it feel to finally participate in an international event?
I think it feels good, to be honest. We should have went to Reykjavik, but we didn't. So I'm just happy to be here. It's not with a full team, which is a bit sad, but at least we got 4 of the members. So hopefully for champions, we can have 5.
BlackWizz.
Yes.
What are the team's expectations with your group and your first Masters in Copenhagen?
.目標はとりあえずはプレーオフに進出することで、目指すはもちろん優勝です。
Our first expectation for the Masters is to proceed to playoffs, and of course, after that, to win the whole tournament.
Zest, your team's luck at international tournaments hasn't been great. What do you plan on doing differently to change the outcome this time?
네, 제스트 선수에게 질문 드리겠습니다. 지금까지 DRX가 글로벌 무대에서는 그렇게 기대는 미치지 못하는 성적을 거두고 있는데요. 이번에는 어떤 식으로 좀 다르게 준비를 했는지 질문 드리고 싶습니다.
사실 크게 다르게 준비한 건 없고요. 항상 하던 대로 저희의 조직력을 토대로 개인 기량도 올리면서 연습했습니다.
So we didn't prepare anything differently this time. We're gonna stick to what we're strong at. We prepared our set plays, and we're gonna play as a team and bring up the individual competency as well.
Cruz, people were under the impression that you would retire after the last event, but you've managed to lead the team to their second consecutive Masters. What makes you continue partaking in competitive Valorant?
To be honest, it was something that happened that made me continue my career, but I would not like to talk about it. But to be honest, as a team, we have been comfortable with each other, so we already meshed well again with each other, so it was nothing much. Just that if I were to retire, was just to find a better addition to the team. That's all.
Artis, what do you think of LATAM and how dangerous do you see the region?
I think they're individually very skilled. I think Loud are one of the best in the world. I think they just have crazy raw aim and skill. I think they're a little bit predictable, but on the day, they can definitely hit shots and win the game. I think Loud's the best team in that region by a mile, though. And the rest are I think the rest are behind, but I think Loud are just miles above everyone else in their region.
Thank you. This will conclude the pre-submitted portion of the press conference. Please use the Zoom hand raise feature if you would like to ask any of the players on stage a question. For this press conference, we ask that you ask the questions in English. We will begin with Declan from Deserto.
All right, yeah, this question is for Zest. I was just wondering if him or his team has had to deal with any mental fatigue or burnout this year or last year, and how have you guys kind of dealt with that if you have?
제스트 선수에게 질문 드리겠습니다. 이제 메타를 사실 선구적으로 많이 만들고 하고 있는데 사실 다른 팀들이 많이 공부를 하고 카운터를 치다 보니까 좀 파악이 되는 경향이 있어요. 그런 면에 있어서 어떻게 좀 준비를 하고 계신지 궁금합니다.
저희가 메타를 이끌어 나가려고 노력하는 것도 있어서 전략적인 부분에서 확실히 앞서 있다고는 생각하지만 상대 팀한테 카운터를 당했을 때 사실 지난 마스터즈에서 좀 힘들었었던 경향이 있었기 때문에 그 부분도 보완을 많이 하려고 노력을 했고요. 연습 방향도 그런 쪽으로 좀 많이 했었습니다.
So yes, we come up with new metas all the time, and the other teams kind of study us and counter our strats and meta. And that's, I think, what happened for Masters 1. So for this time, we're countering the counters, and we've been training to prepare those counters this time.
The next question will come from Rohan from esports.gg.
Hi, this question is for BlackWizz. During the Japanese challenges, obviously we saw the amazing crowd during the finals. How do you think, what are your thoughts on Valorant providing the boost to FPS esports in Japan?
埼玉スーパーアリーナでのプレーオフについて、凄まじい観客の中でプレーされてたと思いますが、この日本の今のバロラントシーンの盛り上がりについて、どう思われますか？
前回のマスターズで見せたゼタの世界3位という記録があって、日本のシーンがとても盛り上がってると思ってます。埼玉スーパーアリーナですごい観客が来てくれて、それもなんていうんですかね、それもすごくいい、日本にとってすごくいい状況になっていると思います。
So during the last Masters in Reykjavik, Zeta was able to achieve such a great result for the Japanese scene of becoming third in the world. And this was sort of a big boost for the Japanese scene. And having the event, offline event at Saitama Super Arena with such a crowd was also another major event in the Japanese scene, which also had an impact on the scene.
Thank you. The next question will come from Ben from Juked.
Hi, this question comes from Ryan Central on the Juked app, and it's to Artis. You previously proclaimed that you can walk on water in this game back in 2020. How would you say you've evolved as a player since then, and can we expect that ignition level of trash talking going into this Masters too?
I don't know. I still walk on water, to be fair. I don't know. I probably won't do the same trash talk, to be honest, because I think you burn a lot of bridges calling people shit. So I'm going to be respectful, tone down my opinion, and yeah, just see how it goes. I think my skill level is probably improved playing with Angel as well, but I don't know. I think this is going to be a big test for me individually and for the team to see how high we are in the rankings of the world.
The next question will come from Addy from VLR.GG.
Thank you. This question is for BlackWizz. So this is the first time that your team will be competing in Masters. Added on that pressure, the last Japan LCQ slot will be dependent if Northception can finish 4th or higher, eclipsing Zeta in their points. Will this add more pressure onto your own performance, or do you see it organically as it goes throughout the tournament?
今回ノーセプションにとっては最初のマスターズでの、試合になると思います。そして、そのプレッシャーに加えて LCQ で今回、今回のマスターズで4位以上の成績を残さなければ LCQ への出場となるというような状況の中で、この状況がさらにプレッシャーを与えているのか、今どのような気持ちですか？
初めての世界大会で結果をしっかり残さないとチャンピオンズに行けないというのは本当にすごいプレッシャーだなとは感じてるんですけど、結果がどうであったとしても、僕らはあとは楽しむだけなので、試合が始まればプレッシャーは感じなくなるかなと思います。
So, as this is being our first international tournament, and yes, that because we have to prove some result, a major result to be able to proceed to champions, yes, we do feel a lot of pressure. But we are also telling ourselves that we want to have as much fun as possible. And I believe that once the game starts, then we will be able to focus on the game and forget about the pressure.
All right, thank you for your answer.
The next question will come from Adarsh from Sportskita.
Yeah, my questions to BlackWizz from North Asian. So your DRX has been unbeaten since the last Masters appearance, and they have a history of winning their opening match in the Masters. So what are your thoughts on facing them for your opening match of the tournament?
DRX は、今までの成績から見ても無敗の、無敵の DRX というような印象があり、特に、オープニングの試合においては、負けたことがないというようなところで、この DRX 戦に対して、どのような気持ちで臨んでいますか？
僕個人としては敵がどこのチームであれ全部、格上というか、強いチームなので、どこが来たとしても僕の中ではあんまり変わらない気持ちで、全てのチームと対戦するにあたっても僕はワクワクが勝っているので、DRX だから萎縮してしまうとかっていうのはないです。
So personally, I feel that any team that we face in this tournament is going to be more experienced than our very great teams that are here. So facing all teams, no matter who we face against, whether that's DRX or anybody else, I would feel super excited to be able to gain this experience. So it's not like we have anything in particular for facing against DRX.
The next question will come from George Geddes from Esports.
Hello, yes, my question is to Artis. How are we, lad? How are you doing?
How are we?
Yeah, we're doing all right. We mainly have a question here because we're quite curious about who's actually going to be playing for FBX. Obviously, there's been a lot of issues surrounding like Angel and then Shao and Sugetsu, etc. Can you tell us who your 5-man lineup is actually going to be at this tournament?
Our 5-man lineup for groups will be me, Angel, Shao, Zipan, and Sida, the sub. But I think Sugetsu might be able to get his visa in time for the playoffs. So we're hoping that he can get his visa approved by then. It could happen beforehand, could happen later, but hopefully going into the playoffs, we will have our full roster available. But for groups, we'll play with one standing.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, mate.
The next question will come from Brandon from Run It Back.
Thank you. This is for Zest. From the Vision Striker days to now's DRX, you guys obviously have dominated the Korean scene. But now you come back to another international LAN with familiar faces like OpTic and Fnatic, who you faced before. I just kind of want to get your thoughts on what you guys have done to improve from those past LANs and what it's going to take to finally get, a top 2, maybe even win the whole thing.
네, 제스 선수에게 질문 드리겠습니다. 비전 스트라이커스 시절 때부터 DRX 때까지 굉장히 강한 모습을 계속 보여주고 계신데요. 글로벌 이벤트에 이번에 나와서도 이제 익숙한 팀들인 옵틱이라던가 푸나틱을 만나게 되었습니다. 이제 다시 만난 상대들이기도 한데요. 그들을 상대하기 위해서 어떤 다르게 준비한 게 있는지, 그리고 이제 위로 올라가기 위해서 혹은 우승하기 위해서 좀 이런 예전의 경험들을 어떻게 살릴 예정인지 궁금합니다.
저희가 마스터즈 1 때 정말 많은 경험들을 했었다고 생각하기 때문에 그때 실수를 토대로 고쳐 나가려고 연습을 많이 했었고요. 저희는 그때 당시에도 옵틱이나 푸나틱도 이길 수 있었다고 생각하기 때문에 크게 다른 부분을 연습했다기보다는 저희가 하던 대로 실수만 줄여 나갔으면 그 팀들도 이겼을 수 있다고 생각해서 이번에도 그 경험들을 토대로 하던 대로만 하면은 이길 수 있지 않을까 싶습니다.
So obviously we got a lot of experiences from Masters 1 and we learned a lot from our mistakes that we made. And I think it's about making at least mistakes as we play, because I think we were competent enough to defeat any teams we played in Masters 1. So we're going to focus on reducing those mistakes and just do what we do best and play as a team.
The next question will come from Armando Montes.
Hi, my question is for BlackWizz from Attention. You think are the underdog in this tournament after beating Zeta in Japanese region, and you think the team can surpass what did them in the last Masters?
ブラックイズ選手への質問です。今回、ゼータを倒して、ここのマスターズに来たと思いますが、ゼータの前回の、成績を超えるような活躍が今回できると思いますか？
世界大会を経験したゼタを決勝戦で倒すことができたので、前回の大会よりもいい結果が出せるんじゃないかなって僕らは思ってます。
So being able to defeat Zeta Division in the regional finals, and Zeta Division being obviously being third in the world, and they were very internationally experienced, we feel that we have a very good chance in competing in this tournament.
Thanks for
The
the
next
answer.
question will come from Francisco Carico.
Hi, my question is for Artis. Artis, how would you describe the play style of the other teams in your group? And is there a specific team that you are looking forward to facing? Thank you.
The playstyle in our groups, I haven't watched too much of it, but I think I'd say it's predictable. And most of them play, if you've watched a few of the games, you know how they play. So I'd say it's a bit predictable, but maybe they'll change, probably will. But and who they want to face? I think I want to face OpTic, just because normally we scrim them in the past Masters or Champions, so that you get a little bit of trash talk from them in the scrims. So I guess it'll be better now playing them in the actual official. So hopefully we make it make it through, so we can play them.
We'll take the next question from Adi from VLR.GG.
Hello, thank you. This question is for Cruz, XERXIA. So this is the second time that XERXIA is seeded into groups after an early exit in Reykjavik. Now facing against a new opponent in Fantas Phoenix, Have the team made any specific changes from what you've learned so far during stage 2?
We've changed a lot, like how we play and whatsoever. But then I'm just glad that we're playing a different team now. So it's gonna be a better experience for us, and we're gonna get more experience because, like I said, we've only played like OpTic, I think, and it's better to play against a different team in an international land. So we'll get more experience and maybe it'll be more fun.
All right, thank you for the answer.
We'll take the next question from Lissandro.
My question is for BlackWizz. Which are the team's expectations with your group and in your first Masters in Copenhagen?
ブラックイズ選手にです。チームの、このマスターズでの、目標を教えてください。
とりあえずはプレーオフに出て、有観客の前でプレーすることです。
Our first goal for this tournament is to proceed to the playoffs so we can play in front of the crowd.
And the final question of this press conference will come from Ben from Juked.
This question is for Zest. Do you think that the Korean region is going to be able to dominate in Valorant like they have in other esports? And why do you think that maybe that hasn't happened as quick as maybe some people originally would have thought? And that's from Dinosaur Cola.
네, 제스 선수에게 질문 드리겠습니다. 지금 한국이 사실 e스포츠 강국으로 굉장히 잘 알려져 있고, 그리고 더 이제 강력한 지역으로 떠오르기를 기대하는 분들이 많은데요. 사실 발로란트 씬에서는 아직은, 그리고 혹은 FPS 씬에서는 조금 더딘 경향이 있습니다. 어떤 부분이 그런 더딤을 유발하는지, 혹은 그리고 어떤 면들이 기대되는지 좀 궁금합니다.
어떠한 부분도 그런 걸 유발하진 않는다 생각하고요. 이번 마스터즈나 챔피언스에서 보여드리겠습니다.
I don't think anything particular is stopping Korea to be one of the dominant regions, and we'll show the world how we do at Masters and Champions.
Thank you. This concludes the second press conference. Please stand by
That was
for
a
the
good
final
answer.
and third press conference, which will begin shortly.
I'm for that answer. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks for hanging with me, y'all. The last press conference is going to be Group C, which is... Wait, there's only Group A and B. Wait, so who's going to be in this last press conference? Hold on. There is no Group C. Press conference 3. Here it is. Oh god, I just totally leaked the Zoom link. That's dumb of me. Don't do anything weird. Didn't think about that. Whoopsie. if y'all have any questions, we do have a few from the Juked thread, but if you have any last minute questions, I can add those to the list and see which ones I'll have a chance to ask. Are they not doing the playoffs teams today? I guess not. I wonder why. Maybe yeah. Wait, why not? Yeah, I guess no Fnatic except Paper Rex or, well, we do have Levitan. Levitan is answering questions in this section here. So, that's weird. But I don't know, like, did Fnatic and XZ and Paper Rex just not arrive in Copenhagen yet? Maybe that's it. You gotta love VCT's branding, man. This is like, it's just always so good. Like this screen, this desktop background here, like I would set this as my background. This is fucking sick. Make sure I'm muted so I'm not beatboxing to this entire group. That would be kind of funny though. That would be kind of funny.
Hello, and welcome to the third and final press conference of the day. Today, we are joined by Colda from Guild Esports, Sadak from Loud, Liasso from Crew, and Taco Lilia from Levitan. We will begin with pre-submitted questions and then move into the live Q&A. The first question is for Sadak. Loud qualified undefeated in Masters 2. This is a boost for the team in the region that you come from here. As the last finalist of Masters 1 and the undefeated team, is this a boost for your team and region that you come here as the last finalist from Masters 1 and the undefeated team from Brazil?
I mean, for sure we are feeling really confident, but I mean, it's almost the same feeling we had with the first Masters. We're just really confident in ourselves, and yeah, it's just proof that we are doing something right.
Liasso, at the first Masters, you were eliminated with 2 losses in a tough group. In this edition, again, you are in a complicated group. What should you guys not repeat from the last edition to not have the same result?
No, bueno, lógicamente no deberíamos perder. Yo creo que estamos bastante preparados, pero bueno, tenemos un grupo bastante complicado, pero a ver, todos acá venimos para ganar y vamos a dar todos lo mejor.
His answer was that obviously they don't really want to lose anything, and they're in a really complicated group, but all of them come here to win, so that's what they're gonna try to do.
Taco, in stage 1, you were so close to qualifying for Masters even after losing the LATAM tournament. This time around, you managed to dethrone Crew and take the title for yourselves. How proud do you feel about your team's achievements so far in the tournament ahead?
feels nice, but I never feeling comfortable. I always want to win more. Like I know we can win more. We wasn't prepared last time. Now we got all the things we need to do a great job in these masters.
Today, Crew has Liaso. Today, Crew has another opportunity to finally reach the final. How do you feel about the level of the tournament, and how complicated can it be to reach it?
Yo creo que cada torneo que va pasando, el nivel de todos los equipos va mejorando. Lógicamente, todos se están preparando de la mejor manera, así como nosotros. Sinceramente, si hacemos las cosas bien, sabemos que tenemos potencial para ganarle a cualquiera y tenemos que seguir ese camino.
I believe that in every tournament, the level just gets better and better. Logically, every team's preparing themselves the best they can. And I believe that we have the potential to beat anybody who's in front of us.
And the last pre-submitted questions to Sadak as he opens the water bottle.
I'm just right here. It's okay.
It's okay. Unlike Masters Reykjavik, Loud will have to play in the group stage. What has changed in the preparation of this edition of the event?
I think the only difference is that we had more time as a team. We did the preparations back in Brazil. We didn't have much time to practice here, but we're feeling really confident. And yeah, I think that's it. The time we had as a group has increased, right? So we had more chance to improve ourselves and to improve in the team quality of maps and tactics. So I think we're really good.
We will now pivot to questions from the media. Alejandro Sandoval, you can open with the first question.
Mi pregunta va para Tacolilla. Primero que nada, un gusto verlos aquí ya debutar en el Master de Copenhagen. Quisiera saber, sabiendo lo que está en juego de cara al Champions y la etapa en la que le toca empezar a Leviatan en el torneo, ¿qué expectativas tienes para lo que llegará a ser el Leviatan en el torneo? Y también sobre alguno de tus posibles rivales.
Siéntanse libres de contestar en español.
Sí, sí. La verdad es que nosotros nos estamos preparando, bueno, básicamente como yo creo que se prepara cualquier equipo, que es para ganar todo lo que se le ponga enfrente. Nunca uno se prepara para algo en especial o un mapa o una cosa, es prepararse para estar mejor como equipo, individual y grupalmente. Y independiente del rival, nosotros nos sentimos preparados en este momento y no tenemos una presión psicológica con respecto al tema del Champions, porque sabemos que mientras más presión quizás se puede dificultar más las cosas, y como lo vimos en el último regional en Argentina, mientras más se disfrutan las cosas es cuando el juego fluye mejor. Entonces no estamos poniéndonos presión, estamos preparándonos de buena manera y confiando en el proceso y sabiendo que las cosas bien hechas van a dar frutos.
Vale, gracias.
The question was that what expectations do they have coming into this tournament for their own level and their rivals? And Takli said that they actually believe that they've been preparing as well as a team, like everybody is preparing to beat against anyone who they're facing against. They never prepare for something specific. They just better themselves as a team. Independently of the rival, they're still really prepared and they don't feel like the added pressure because of champions. He thinks that if he can play uneasy and uneven without any pressure, he's gonna enjoy the game better and then it just flows better. He's trusting the process and trusting his team.
The next question will come from Armando Montes.
Hi. Hola, mi pregunta es para Tacolía. ¿Cómo te has sentido ahorita en el servidor europeo? He visto a veces que suele ser muy difícil, incluso para los pro players latinos que han estado ahí, sobre todo quizás hostil se podría decir la palabra. ¿Y sientes que sea un problema que inicien en playoffs en lugar de group stage?
Bueno, la primera pregunta es ¿cómo siento el servidor? La verdad es que no ha sido una cálida bienvenida. No lo he disfrutado tanto, en verdad. Estoy tryhardeando como tryhardeo personal, pero como servidor la he pasado bastante mal, muy tóxico y no tan competitivo como yo creía. Y nada, el tema de empezar en playoff, no creo que nos afecte mucho. Es verdad que mientras uno más juega un torneo, agarra más rodaje y puede estar más en confianza en el stage, pero de igual manera tenemos mucho tiempo para prepararnos con buenos equipos de la región, entonces tampoco es como que estemos un paso por detrás a nivel rodaje. Y nada, yo lo veo así. Veo que son las mismas condiciones y quizás nosotros podamos ver un poco más de la competencia y el rival que tengamos enfrente. Así que nada, eso.
Gracias por la respuesta. Y suerte para lo que venga en el Masters.
Gracias.
There were two questions. The first one was, how do you feel playing the EU server? It's often considered hostile and this kind of thing. And the second question was whether he found a problem for them to begin playoffs. Takoli's answer was that it hasn't really been a warm welcome into the server. He hasn't really enjoyed it. He has tried harder in games, but just because of his personal beliefs, but he hasn't really liked it. It's really toxic and not as competitive as he thought it was. And regarding the second question, he doesn't really believe that it'll take a toll on them. He does think that sometimes playing more into a tournament can help you boost confidence and momentum, but he feels that he's really prepared, and starting in playoffs won't really affect their own momentum. It's the same conditions for them, and they believe they're actually gonna learn more about their fellow players.
We'll take the next question from FD Facundo Dominguez.
Bueno, mi pregunta es, can I make it in Spanish? It's for
Yes.
Taco. Muy buenas tardes, Taco. Soy
famoso.
Facundo Domínguez. Acá estoy. Mi pregunta va a ser bastante simple. Como ya te lo hice el día en el que se coronaron frente a Cruz, ¿qué equipo sentís esas ganas de enfrentártelo ya?
¿A Cruz de nuevo?
No, el día de la cuando le habían ganado a Cruz, que te hice una pregunta similar.
¿Pero cuál es la pregunta?
¿A qué equipo le tenés más ganas de enfrentarte ahora mismo?
Ah, bueno, los equipos con los que quiero enfrentarme en un presencial ahora mismo son OpTic, XERXIA, Cruz, Loud, son los equipos que me gustaría tenerlos frente a frente. Y nada, eso, son los equipos que tengo ahí en vista.
The question was, what teams was he excited to face against? And Taka's answer was OpTic, Exit, True, and Loud. Those are the teams that he wants to go head to head, and those are the one he wants to beat.
We'll take the next question from Declan from Deserto.
Hi, this question's for Colda. I was just wondering if there's any wisdom or advice you've given to some of the younger guys on your team going into their first big LAN event in Valorant.
Yeah, I mean, especially for the first game, yes, we come as the underdogs, you know, playing against OpTic. So I guess we need to take it as we have nothing to lose. And that's what I'm gonna tell them, you know, to put in their heads. Before going into the game, I feel like all the pressure is on them. And that's how we're gonna take it.
Thank you. The next question is for Leazo from Ryan Central. This is the first event where we have had 2 LATAM teams playing in an international tournament. Do you think LATAM has improved a tremendous amount over the last year to have 2 teams qualify, or was the region always this skilled and worthy of more international slots?
Yo creo que la región está mejorando mucho. Lógicamente, es lo que digo, que siempre todos tratan de dar lo mejor, no solamente en LATAM, sino en todas las regiones, pero sí, se nota que hay un crecimiento exponencial en la región y en los jugadores. Claramente tienen muchas ganas de medirse con los mejores y eso creo que es lo que nos hace tratar de jugar mejor.
I believe that region really has bettered themselves throughout these years. Logically, it's that everybody wants to do their best in every tournament, and they want to better themselves not only as a team but also as a region and individuals. and everybody has just been getting better and better. And I also believe that they are eager to face and to put themselves against the best in the world, and that's why they want to play better.
We'll take the next question from Addy from VLR.
Thank you. This is for Colda Menta. This is your first Masters since you attended last year in Berlin with G2. How does it feel to be back in an international setting? As well as Seif put it as you are the boomer of Guild Esports. Do you disagree or do you agree with that sentiment? Thank you.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could be the boomer in age, but in the spirit, I'm younger than him. But I mean, it feels good. I have like similar vibes to the last one. It's made by Riot, and feeling pretty comfortable. Everything looks pretty similar. But this time, I don't know. I feel like even more relaxed and like familiarized with the atmosphere and everything. So yeah, pretty happy to be here.
All right. Thank you for the answer.
We'll take the next question from Wesley Pereira.
Mi pergunta es para Sadaki. ¿Qué cambia en Loud con Marquín yendo a Dinamarca como analista y la ausencia del psicólogo?
Wesley, ¿por qué você está falando em espanhol, Wesley?
Porque eu não sei se eles podem deixar eu falar em português.
Pelo amor de Deus, claro que pode, né, cara?
Mas vamos lá, então. Tu entendeu a pergunta? O que muda da Loud com a ida do Marquinhos para a Dinamarca como analista e a ausência do Arthur aí na Islândia?
Cara, então, a ausência do Arthur, com certeza a gente está sentindo a falta dele, né? Mas, então, diferença com o Marquinhos e Arthur, meio que deixava a gente, eu dava as ferramentas para que a gente mantivesse mental mais em dia, tipo, mental melhor, sabe? Marquinhos está mais para ajudar a parte tática, a parte do staff, a parte de dados, de preparação contra os times. Então, acho que essa é a maior diferença, né?
Tá certo, obrigado.
So the question was that what changed with Marquinhos coming to here now than when Arthur was in Iceland, the psychologist. And Sadak replied that the difference between the both is Arthur helped them to have a mental preparation to be focused in the game, but Marquinhos is more an analyst, so he looking for the tactical analysis of the game. That's the most important difference between the both.
Thank you. We'll take the next question from Declan from Deserto.
Hi again. This question is also for Colda. I was just wondering if you or anybody on your team has kind of dealt with mental fatigue or burnout this year or last year, and how have you guys kind of dealt with it if you have?
You asked if we had any mental burn? Or what did you say? Sorry, what was the question again?
If you experienced any mental burnout or fatigue?
Yeah, I mean, that's something we constantly fighting against. I mean, it happens every now and then. Like, we always have off long seasons, and when the season starts, everything is like very intense. And we've been learning throughout these past 8 months since we started the new project in Guild on how to manage the schedule better, I guess. Like, we evolve. I feel like we've been changing it like so much, but always for the better. We've been adapting it to everyone needs, and it's like something like you never stop learning. I feel like, because it feels like it's always different depending on the circumstances. There's always been like many, I mean, recently as well, but some months ago, like people in the team constantly getting ill one after another. So it's never been easy, and yeah, that's something we work on a lot.
Thank you. The next question will come from Ben from Juked.
Hi, this question is from Freezed from the Juked app, and it's for Colda. How is it like moving from team to team, being known as a strong in-game leader, but no team so far committing to your plan for the long term to become champions? Is Guild a place where you feel they're an org that will stick with you in your plans to make the org a championship contender long term?
Yeah, I mean, first was Ascend, but it was me who left, so I guess it wasn't. It was my decision. And yeah, after I left, they became champions. That's funny. Then I went to G2. I feel like we had a really good run there. We made it to top 3 in the Berlin Masters, and yeah, they didn't want me to become champions in that team. And now here in Guild, I feel like yeah, this is the one. We've had like a good run so far, and yeah.
Thank you. The next question will come from Alejandro Sandoval.
Ok, esta pregunta va para ay, se me fue para Leazo. Va para Leazo, perdón. Desde que se dio el sorteo de los enfrentamientos para el Masters, a mucha gente le llegó como ese recuerdo de toda la rivalidad que han tenido Cruz frente a los equipos brasileños, sabiendo que ahora se van a enfrentar al Loud. Viendo cómo les fue a estos durante el Masters de Reykjavik, ¿cómo ha sido esa preparación mental y dentro del juego de cara a este enfrentamiento inaugural para Copenhagen? Igual si quiere mencionar algo, Sadak, para complementar, es bien recibido.
No, por favor, lo quiero escuchar atentamente al muchacho.
No, a ver, yo creo que los chicos han jugado siempre contra equipos brasileños y hasta ahora hemos tenido buenos resultados. Eso es lo que me deja tranquilo. La realidad es que jugamos bastante contra los chicos del Loud, practicamos y nos conocemos bien. Yo creo que eso es lo que hace un partido difícil. Jugar siempre contra un equipo y saber cómo juega es lo complicado. Pero bueno, lógicamente estamos preparados y vamos.
Somebody hit the mute button.
Has always faced well against Brazil, and up until now they have given really good results. He does feel really tranquil about it, and the problem is that they have scrimmed and they have practiced a lot against Loud, so they know each other very well as a team and as players. So that's like the toughest part, because they know how each other plays, and it'll be a tough match, but he feels that they're really prepared.
Thank you. The next question will come from Lisandro Alarcón.
Mi pregunta es para Colda. ¿Cómo te ves vos para un nuevo Masters y qué expectativas tiene el equipo en su primer evento internacional donde están en un grupo que todos son favoritos?
Sí, pues es lo que tú has dicho. Cuando vimos el grupo, la verdad es que no esperábamos que fuera a ser así. Creo que... No, es mi opinión, pero creo que todos los equipos del grupo en el que estamos me parecen mejores que cualquier equipo del grupo B. Así que creo que es el grupo de la muerte y por lo menos va a ser una fase de grupos entretenida. Así que eso es bueno.
The question was, how does he feel himself coming into this new Masters, and what are his expectations in a group that they all seem favorite? Coldamenta's answer was that he actually didn't expect the group draw to go that way. He believes that every team in Group A is way better than the teams in Group B, and he believes this is Group of Dead, and it'll be at least a really entertaining group stage for the fans and everybody. So that's it.
We'll take the next question from Guillermo Arata.
¿Qué tal? Mi pregunta va para Cruz. Bueno, a estas alturas conocerán el potencial que tienen tanto ustedes como el equipo de Levitan. Y mi pregunta sería, ¿qué esperan de la participación de ambos equipos, en este caso de LATAM en general, durante este Masters?
A ver, yo creo que todos esperamos lo mismo, ganar. Acá no viene nadie a perder y básicamente es eso. Todos queremos jugar contra cualquier equipo que se nos cruce y dar lo mejor posible y ganar y seguir jugando y pasando, llegar a la final y levantar la copa. Acá, como te digo, no viene nadie a perder y creo que esa es la mentalidad que tienen todos si les preguntás.
Perfecto, muchas gracias.
The question was whether how does he expect both Levitan and Crew to do in this tournament? And his answer was that, well, everybody comes here to win. Nobody comes here to lose. So they really do expect to do the best against some of the best teams in the world. They're going to play the rest of the game, and they hope to get to the final and rise the cup.
The next question will come from Wesley Pereira from the Clutch Esports.
Sadak, pergunta rapidinha. A gente pode esperar alguma surpresa da Loud já na estreia?
Defina a surpresa. O que seria?
Alguma coisa inusitada, algum pique incomum na mão de algum jogador, escolha de mapa diferente.
Então, tipo assim, eu já falei isso, mas a gente não treinou muito, né? Então, surpresas assim, não vai ter. Mas sempre esperamos surpreender, tá ligado?
Tá certo, valeu.
Tamo junto.
So he asked if Loud have some surprise in this beginning of the competition, some different agent to pick or map, and Sadak replied that they don't have much time to train here, but so we cannot expect some surprise in this sense, but they gonna surprise in the game, being the good, playing very well.
And the next question will come from Francisco Carico.
Eu perguntei para o Sadak. Sadak, como é que descreves o estilo de jogo das duas equipas do vosso grupo e qual é a equipa que mais queres defrontar neste Masters?
Cara, eu acho que os shows nesse grupo que a gente está vão ser bem difíceis. Vai ser um show muito difícil contra a Crew, porque realmente a gente treinou muito lá quando estávamos no Brasil, né? Então a gente se conhece, eles conhecem nós conhecemos eles. E se a gente tem que jogar contra a Guild ou tem que jogar contra a OpTic, com certeza vai ser um jogo difícil novamente. A OpTic, a gente já jogou contra eles na final, né? Então sabemos do que os caras são capazes. E a Guild, querendo ou não, tem muita pessoa talentosa. Tem o Colda também, que é um cara muito experiente, um cara que sabe muito de tática, sabe muito de CRGL, né? Então vai ser bem difícil. E a última pergunta não lembro o que foi.
Qual equipa é que estás mais ansioso por defrontar neste Masters?
Cara, na verdade, ansioso de enfrentar, não estou ansioso não. Só realmente quero jogar agora já. E seja contra o time que seja na minha frente.
Obrigado.
Sadak replied that all the games in this group phase will be very difficult. Well, they train with Crew in Brazil, so Crew knows how Loud play and they know how Crew plays. And they already know that OpTic is a very good team. They competed in the finals, the last Masters, and they already they know too that guilds have so good players there, so many talents there. So they know that to be a very difficult phase group. And the other question is what he expects of now, this beginning. And Sadak said he gonna just play right now.
Thank you. Are there any more questions for these players? Thank you so much for taking your time to speak with the press today. This will conclude the third and final press conference before Masters Copenhagen.
Okay. That is it. That is it. Appreciate everyone coming today. Thanks for joining us for the press conference. Hopefully your questions got answered and you enjoyed the show. We will continue to try and do these kinds of things in the future as much as we can, and we always take every opportunity we can to let the Juked community ask questions, whether it's on Plat Chat or in AMAs or directly in these press conferences. If you haven't followed the channel yet, now would be a good time to do so. We do occasional content, not super often, but occasionally we do some content that I think, well, you're here, so you like it. And I'm just gonna pop open our crowd equity page so you can take a look. We are fundraising right now through WeFunder. It's a campaign that allows anyone to invest in startups, not just millionaires and venture capital firms. So if you're interested in investing in Juked, you can do that right now, wefunder.com/Juked. We are just getting started, but we're super excited to have our community invest in the company and help participate in our success, support our business, and hopefully make some money couple years down the road when Juked is bought for $1 bazillion. Disclaimer, we are currently still in testing the waters mode. We haven't finalized our Form C yet, so if you invest, you are not investing directly yet, but you will be as we file our Form C, which should be in the next couple of days or hopefully week or so. wefunder.com/Juked. I'll drop the link in chat. Other than that, thanks for being part of the Juked community, and I'll see you on the app. Appreciate you sticking with us through this broadcast. We will see you in the next one. Peace.